Listen closely. I think I hear that giant sucking sound. That's right, you probably heard that quote before. And today, what we are seeing is a big change in relation to that. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. You probably remember that sound, that giant sucking sound. Ross Perot talking about this, suggesting that when they set up these free trade agreements, that the jobs are going to go to Mexico. They're going to go overseas. And what did we see? Of course, the manufacturing jobs, strong jobs, tended to leave. Did you know that during the financial crisis, we had GM, other companies, they get these bailouts, billions of dollars. And what did they do with that? They started opening up factories overseas. They took your tax dollars and put them overseas so that they can make sure that their profits would be continuing to rise at your expense. How does that make you feel? Oh, don't worry, they paid their debt back. Sure. Well, I want to look at what's happening with manufacturing because that is an important indicator of what's happening because despite the fact that that is obviously shrinking, we can see that there is a trend. And there's a couple things happening, an interesting dynamic, and I want to bring that to you today. And that's going to explain what's going on in the economy, and that will affect your job, your business. So let's begin right here, where we're looking at information coming out of the Fed, and they're taking this data from all over the place, and they kind of break that down here. Look at this. Chemical manufacturing, computer and electronic product manufacturing, fabricated metal, food manufacturing, furniture, machinery, so on and so forth. Looking through all of this, links are in the description under the sources if you want to read it for yourself. They all say the same thing. Slow down, we're slowing down, not as much purchases. This isn't what it was before. There's definitely a slowness here. One way, said it one way or another. They're all basically suggesting the same thing. It wasn't what it once was. You have the data, the charts. Manufacturing, looking at it, contracting. What about this one? Outlook on production and volume of new orders, both of these contracting. Looking at the prices paid for raw materials and received finished goods. Both of these have been moving in a downtrend. Well, what's going on? There's been actually a change, a positive change. So while we have this contraction, the spending, the amount of money that's being spent on manufacturing in the United States has improved. One of the reasons for that is the CHIPS Act. And the CHIPS Act basically is trying to get semiconductor companies to build and manufacture, process that in the United States. And so they would be able to do so for many reasons. Of course, you don't want to be reliant on another country, or at least entirely reliant. Why is that? Well, we learned during 2020 how dangerous that could be. But at the same time, what I'm seeing here is that they want it for national security purposes. So we build the chips where we live so that we don't have to worry about what could happen in a particular scenario. You get the point. American manufacturing companies ramped up construction of new factories this year, working especially hard at building semiconductor facilities, also erecting new factories for food and beverage processing, chemicals, and plastics. And then it goes to the next level, right? Because what they're saying is called nearshoring. They call this nearshoring, and that's essentially, let's open up a factory in Mexico versus China. Why? Well, we're friendly with Mexico, despite, some differences, despite a little back and forth. It's no different than what's experienced with Canada and the United States too. Well, then they also have, the so-called friend shoring, or politically aligned countries with the United States, instead of relying entirely on China. What about Europe relying entirely on Russia? That's not really a good idea, right? Especially with what they've done over this period. So, looking at this, you have to understand the big changes going in, but they are so far behind, decades behind, and they would really need to ramp up, and they would spend a lot of money and still be way behind. So they've got to get things in order real fast and work on the most important aspects first and then go in order. Whether we get that or not, I'm not so sure, but take this, okay? Because what we're seeing right now is a divide in between the East and West, and you can obviously tell that China and the US aren't too friendly with each other, despite, of course, China's leader coming to the US and saying, hey, let's make a deal, let's work everything out. You know there's serious problems and there's long-term issues that won't be resolved here by simply opening up a factory inside the United States. Looking at more charts, you can just see this. The Dallas Fed manufacturing outlook level of general business activity down, down, down. This has been down basically for 2 years. All right. Every single month down this entire time in a contraction. So we know that there's a problem. Well, what happened here? Built too much stuff, imported too much stuff. There was no demand. The demand wasn't there. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Oh, and now we've got, all these yoga pants are just sitting here doing nothing. U.S. imports on the decline. Strong consumer demand keeps supply chain afloat. Yeah, it depends on where you look. Look, during Black Friday, during Cyber Monday, there was demand. But what kind of demand was it? Well, they were buying necessities. They were buying food. They were buying clothing. They were not buying the 67-inch flat screen TVs. They weren't fighting each other. I saw a video of, I think it was a Best Buy, where typically you'd see the doors open and people trampling each other, ripping each other's hair out, all this craziness. This year they opened the doors and one guy walked on through, nice and slow and casual, on to buy whatever he needed to buy. People are buying, certainly. The deals are stretched out. Number one, it's like, Black Friday month. It's like Cyber Monday month. But at the same time, also, they're doing a lot of shopping online. And that's what's changed here. But know what they're buying. It's not what we saw before. That tells us something. And of course, connecting in with this dire scenario for shipping lines more likely as spot rates fall back. One thing after another. I've connected all the dots here. The consumer, way too much inventory, production, not only is it not there, doesn't seem to be needed. And at the same time, the shipping, we're looking at this data right here, all connected in these dots, explaining very clearly that there is a lack of demand. Some would call that a recession, but we can't say that word. Oops. All right. What you got to do right now is you've got to check out the information that I have available to you on my website. It's all free. You go here, themoneygps.com. The link is in the description. You're going to get Compass for free. That's a free financial education course. Real simple. People would charge money for this. People, you're not going to get anything like that at your financial advisor. All of that is available right here to you for free. I've got Money Pickle on there, so you can get a CFP or a fiduciary to take a look at your financial circumstances, and of course, Seeking Alpha as well. All of these things right here in that link in the description. Don't forget to check that out, support the channel. And right here and now, you can see the comment of the day. Giant retailers heavily over-ordered during 2020 when prices were seriously high. There was always going to be a correction like this. And that is very true. I want to thank you for your comment. Each and every day, I got the best commenters coming through, and I appreciate you coming in. If you've been here for 10 years or if you have been here just a week, I want to thank you. We are seeing some conditions changing, and I want you to get the best information possible each and every day. I will bring you that. Don't worry. I will bring you I'm sifting through, like literally hours a day, trying to get you the best stuff. Hit that thumbs up if you appreciate this channel. And of course, don't forget to come back tomorrow. I'll give you the best. Take care.